Hello everyone and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, where we watch every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I'm Sean.
I'm Tennille.
And today we are watching the final 1973 film, Treasure Island.
Oh my god. It's been a long year.
Now, I believe we were supposed to be watching something else here, but for some reason, I could not find that film, even though I had marked that we could find it. Makes me think that I just marked it incorrectly when I was doing the list initially.
Well, or it could be...
It got deleted.
Yeah, or it could have disappeared from now since we first looked these films up. So
I can't even think of what that film was at this moment, but whatever.
Wasn't it the Chinese propaganda film?
Oh, yeah, you're right. The Chinese propaganda film. Can't find it. I don't know where it went.
Oh, well.
I'm not super heartbroken about it, though.
No. Anyway, Treasure Island.
This is a Filmation film.
Yep. I think that sums it up.
This is probably the most accurate interpretation of Treasure Island we've seen yet.
I suppose.
There's
a talking mouse. Well, does the mouse talk?
Not talking, but there is an animal companion. He's a total drunk, though.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's all humans, and it feels like they're just reading directly out of the book and then throwing some really cheap gags in there.
And songs.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about the songs. Yeah. Some real bad songs, too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of padding.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just telling the story real basic, but then throwing in so much padding through terrible songs, bad jokes, non-existent slapstick, because Filmation, if nothing else, are masters of non-animated animation.
Of wasting your time.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
They learned from Hanna-Barbera, and honestly, a lot of their people could have come from Hanna-Barbera, but they know how to do animation where nothing actually moves.
Yeah,
you know?
but I feel like they're worse at doing it than Hanna-Barbera is. And, okay, I think a big difference here, where I'm a little bit more forgiving on Hanna-Barbera, in other shows that we've seen where where it's barely animated, very limited animation going on.
Hyper limited.
Is that the writing has to be on point. You know?
Yes.
The writing's funny. And, we still see that in TV shows nowadays, where you can have very limited animated TV shows that have a very simple art style and don't necessarily move around that much, aren't all that animated, but the writing's really good. So it makes up for that. Filmation, I feel like, doesn't have that writing thing down at all. I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on this studio because I feel like I haven't
experienced enough of them to have a proper thought on them.
Right, but just the cultural vibes I get, I know about He-Man and I know about a lot of their other works. I haven't necessarily experienced it firsthand other than just, memes I've seen on the internet and, the brief things I've seen now and then. But they just don't seem like a very good studio that's good at managing their time, their resources, their limited resources. They do have limited resources, and they're just I just don't think they're very good storytellers.
From what I've experienced of Filmation, it feels like they have some corporate people up top, and they're like, hey, you're gonna do this. And so the people that are in charge of the animation are like, well, I guess we're going to do that. And we have 2 days? All right. Well, scribble something out. leave the faces the same, just move their mouths a bit, ship it. That's what we'll do.
I mean, yeah, it definitely feels very much like a factory of art.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So a little background on this film. This is basically all I could find. I do have a copy of the Filmation history book by Lou Schumer. I want to say that book is interesting if you're interested in knowing the history of Filmation. It is kind of a nightmare to go through if you are trying to look up specific Filmation works, because it's written almost like a diary in that it talks about the company month by month of what's going on. And so, like, if I wanted to look up anything he had to say about Treasure Island, I've got to read, like, 2 or 3 chapters of this book that has basically nothing to say about Treasure Island, apart from, like, 2 little sentences that say, by the way, in mid-September,
we finalized the movie or something.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, cool.
That
great.
doesn't help me.
That says nothing. All right. Anyway, I'm not going crazy. I'm fine. It's okay. The reason this film was made was because Warner Bros. Commissioned Filmation for 10 films, each given about a budget of $1 million by Warner Brothers.
Okay.
And so that's the budget of this film, is $1 million.
That's not a whole lot, is it?
No, it's very, very cheap.
Okay, yeah, because Disney films are, at this point, are usually, like, closer to, like, 12 million or higher.
Yeah. They're given like $5 to make a movie, okay? This film was one of them. The main gimmick of these films is that they would be under the classification of, like, family classics, and they were all based on books that had gone into public domain.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So this is one.
Actually make 10?
Well, from what I read in the book, by the time they were about halfway through production with this movie, and I think, like, most of these movies were made over the course of, like, 2-3 years.
Wow. Yeah, they were just churning these out.
Yeah. Warner Bros. Ended up upping that to 20 films being commissioned.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
We have 20 of these? Well, I guess not necessarily, because I'm wondering if some of these were just direct-to-TV instead.
Yeah, because there's the thing, is I'm still not sure if this ever was released to theaters. As
far as I can tell, yes, but I don't know. The information's not there. It said it was released in 1973, but then it said it was first released to a TV, or like first released to television in the 80s. And I'm just like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Exactly. Because, like, that's the same thing that I'm finding in the book, is that, like, in 1973, they had, like, a conference where Warner Bros. Showed the movie off, but they cut out, like, half of it.
When they sent it to television.
No. They cut out half of it when they showed it to the people at the screening.
So the screening was only half?
Yes! I don't know. I'm so confused. Like, what is this?
What happened here?
I don't know. I didn't grow up in the 90s /80s
70s
/70s. Well, I don't know when this was released. Yeah. So I can't even say, like I don't know.
And the information online is very conflicting.
It's as vague. It's just as vague. And, like, going to the horse's mouth in the book, I don't know, there might be some passage I'm missing, but like I said, the information's kind of scattered throughout the whole entire book, and I don't have time to read the whole book before we do this review, so, I don't know, man.
So, were we supposed to watch this film? Who knows?
Who
we
knows?
did it anyways. God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. Oh, the faux pas British in this movie is probably its worst aspect and its only saving grace.
Because
Jim Hawkins is such a dweeb.
Okay, in case you've stumbled across this series and you somehow don't know what Treasure Island is, there's a kid named Jim Hawkins, works in an inn. A pirate dude comes by. Then his pirate friends come and attack him to try to steal his treasure map. Jim Hawkins and various other Englishmen decide to hire a boat to go to Treasure Island, which is what the map was, because the pirate dude is dead now. They stole his map. Turns out the crew of this ship that they took is the pirates that attacked. Shock and surprise. They're led by a guy named Silver, who is their captain, pretends to be the cook. They fight. Most all of the pirates die over the course of going across the island. In this version, Silver is actively killing them off and claiming it's jungle fever.
Yeah.
And then
I just have so little to say about this movie itself.
And then, like, the good guys get the treasure in the end. Silver escapes. Story over. There was a talking, or like a drunk rat character thing. I don't know. Nobody moves. Nothing to do. The British people are very British.
Yet again, just makes me want to watch Treasure Planet. And I literally just watched that movie because we just watched a different version of Treasure Island not all that long ago.
Like, I don't really care for the designs of any of these characters. The only one that has, like, a vaguely charming design, I would say, is Silver. And everyone else is just, like, they exist. His pirate crew is ugly to bordering on definitely racist. And, it's not great.
No, I mean, you can't blame them for, like... putting the most effort into Silver, because he is definitely the most interesting character of the story.
Oh, absolutely.
But, like, yeah. Oh, man. I just...
Overall, I feel like this movie's really hit and miss. And mostly miss.
Yeah, and the few hits are, like... They're like little pats on the back for you for getting this far in the movie, you know? They're not like giving you something nice. They're just like, yay, look, here's something that's not awful to watch. I'm sorry, I don't like Filmation all that much, and I hope that changes as this continues onward and I see more of their work, but I'm just so unimpressed so far.
There's nothing there for you yet.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I've not experienced Filmation other than, like, the same as you. So I also have next to nothing to praise about it.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up 1973, the year that never, ever, 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 ever ended. So it's time to move on
It finally ended.
We're moving on to 1974, and oh boy, do we have a sequel to Neil.
Oh.
From our favorite creator.
But it's not from him.
What?
He didn't make it.
Oh. Well, in case you're unaware of what we're talking about, we're about to watch The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat.
Yeah.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Oh, backwards, speak I. I speak backwards.